Hi, everybody. Hi. Hello. It's Friday, which means it is once again time to rank some 8-bit Nintendo games. We have our list here containing over 500 games. That's a lot of games. We still have a lot more to go, so we have another fresh batch here. If you would like to suggest some games for the proceedings, you can do so by joining the advisory panel over at patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann. And that'll let you pick some of the games and kind of help us get through the rest of these in short order. This is the 89th installment of this thing, and we're getting there. We're getting there. We're gonna continue chipping away at it today with another collection of smash hits suggested by you, the viewer. Will anything be better than Mega Man 2? Hard to say. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, Faith wanted to see this one. It's a game from the company called Hudson, and they're a company that's perhaps best known for Super Mario Brothers Special on the PC-88 on the Sharp X1. It's a special version of Super Mario Brothers that they produced, and it's a smash hit. And they did some other games as well, but that's probably the thing that you know them for. But they also did this. It's a game called Bomberman II. It's a setup. '92. It's a pretty big distance between Bomberman 1 and 2. You can even just hear it in the audio. The sampled drums. Okay, let's start this up here and play some Bomberman 2. Bomberman 1 is was not a terrible game on this platform, but it is kind of missing the reason you come to a Bomberman game, and that's the big multiplayer stuff. It's like upside down version of the Bomberman intro music. It's very funny. This is a pretty good version of this music. I like it. This is the more advanced drum technology. But fundamentally, this is not dramatically different from Bomberman 1. Going from my gut, which is the best Bomberman? It's Bomberman 93 for the TurboGrafx 16. It's one of the last Bombermans before it got to be too much. Like adding dinosaurs and guys around the outside edge throwing in bombs and all that other stuff. It's like that does not those things don't make the game better. this action is like okay. I think the Bomberman single player just kind of like it's not very good. Like, hey, here's these monsters that kind of, you know, work on a set pattern, and you sort of have to time it, but like it's not easy to time it because they will occasionally change directions on you, and also just, you know, you kind of need to get in and drop your bomb and hope that they just don't move. And it's just not... It's not a super compelling experience, you know? The challenge doesn't come from like a fun place in this game, I would say. You know, it's like, oh, I have to time the explosion of the bombs, which, you know, under normal circumstances, I don't have any real control over. And then at the end of you know, after everyone's dead, I still need to just blow up a bunch of stuff to find the exit. You know, it's just, and the power-ups. There we go. Is that just points? Did I just find points? Because I'm going to be... Like, I want to drop multiple bombs. Of course, the very last one. God. Let me out of here. Ah. Die. Die, balloon creature. So yeah, it's I don't know, like it's okay. I think having a sequel like this that doesn't really fundamentally change the single player experience is kind of the downfall of a lot of this whole franchise, you know? Like it's a multiplayer game. It's really like this mode feels so superfluous, I guess. Oh, I got a power-up earlier. That's right. I got another. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute? Die. Like, the AI feels like it is sometimes cheating in your favor. Where it's like, oh, you dropped a bomb nearby, we're going to just let it kill, you know, like, we're gonna, you know, and sometimes they'll walk out of the way of your bombs, but it feels like they don't. All that often. But, you know, like, this is great audio. I don't know that I've ever seen this specific version of the game. Okay. Now we're in business. Because now I can just make these bombs blow up when I want to. And everything just goes a lot faster. But, you know, as a result of that, things do get a little more dangerous because you're just it's a little more likely that you're just going to screw up. Oh, I already got, I guess that was the power-up I got in this level, so I don't need to blow all these up. What am I doing? is just kind of silly because, you know, now that I have the detonator, I can just kind of do it to him. Which then in turn means that you're stuck in situations like this where you're just like, fucking come on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, the music and the way it changes when you pick up a power up and stuff like that. This is like a meaningful upgrade over the first game, which is, you know, on this platform, like a very small presentation. Come up here. Now, in some of these Bomberman games, but not all of them, if you have a bomb blow up and hit the door, it makes a bunch of new enemies spawn, so... Because we don't know if this is one of those or not. I can't remember if I already got a power-up in this stage or not. Okay. Bonus stage. Here's our hot bonus. It's a bunch of slowdown. Well, that's a pleasant noise. That's, I'm gonna say that's a pretty lifeless bonus stage. More fire. Oh, I was on the wrong side of that. Well, fuck. This game is a lot like, scrolling shooters of the era, in that when you die and lose all your power-ups, it is very enticing to just shut it off and never touch it again. Though I did keep some length on these bombs. Okay, so I kept explosion length and number of bombs, but I no longer have the ability to detonate the bombs, which is a real suck fest. But at least I didn't lose everything. Anybody else alive down here? You and you. It's a good version of this music, but it is still level after level of this music, which is, you know, maybe a little repetitive. Money. Why would I want money? Why would I? What does a Bomberman need with money? I want to see if this has boss fights in it, because some of them do. Well, guess we're going to find out about that door. Alright, yep. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Die. Like, this is kind of like, I don't want, to deal with this, like, skittering fucking asshole changing directions. It's just like, it's a hassle. It's a hassle blowing some of these people up. To the forest. Looking like no boss fight. Yeah, I gotta get out here and set off bomb. What does this have to do with the storyline of me being in jail? Also, that now I'm out here in the forest. Alright, a little more speed. Good way to screw up and kill yourself. It's underwater level. Oh. No. So I guess it's you know that I guess I would say that the single player part of most Bomberman games, it's not that it's like difficult. It's that it requires a very specific level of patience. And you can really screw yourself up in some of these situations. Other games would give you just straight up the ability to absorb a hit, as opposed to like a brief window of invincibility. Someone had to get out here and blow up the forest. It might as well be Bomberman. So it's sort of a weird thing where I think this game is really like the single player of a Bomberman game is only really fun when you have the detonator, but also that kind of takes what little challenge the game has and sets a lot of that aside too. What did that do? Who can say? I think it gave me an extra life. There. But yeah, pretty good music, I'd say. Like this is a good little this is a good track, I'd say, as well. So at least on that front, I mean, whatever. This is a huge improvement over Bomberman 1 on the same platform. Now we can really get in trouble. 4 bombs. Plenty of opportunities to get trapped. This may not have the ability to kick bombs. I bet it does not have the glove either. Ah, see, you get fucking spooked. Like, that guy's gonna walk up and get me. I need to get out of the way. And then suddenly you're mistiming something and you're fucking up, and that's it. It's your own mistakes that kill you in this game. More than anything else. So I don't know what that did. I mean, I picked up well, fuck this. I picked up a Bomberman, but I don't think that gave me an extra life. But okay, like, you know, I guess it's probably a good thing that the enemies will get a little bit more aggressive at times because, like I said, you know, there's kind of not too many opportunities for that sort of stuff to happen. A little sluggish there on some of the explosions when you drop that many. I like that they give you a little leeway on, like, he was kind of on the far side of that stump, but it still just gave it to me. That's what they call me, a flaming expert. Oh, this fucker's gonna get me. I can't remember if I got a power up in this level or not yet. I don't think I did. Oh, but there's still stuff alive over here. I'm not finished killing. Ah, you piece of fuck! Ugh. I'm gonna watch this intro again to try to make sense of it. Okay, why Bomberman hanging out? Like Bomberman's like, here. Idiot. Dumb. This punching animation of them is amazing. So is versus mode just going to be a very quick kind of two-player? And is battle mode going to be for if you have the 4 score or something? Did this come out that late? guess 92 or whatever. Hold this. The punching, that's a really great graphic. Okay, let's see the battle mode and see what the situation is there. Maybe battle mode you can have CPU players. Apparently battle mode is just 3 players. What were you hooking up to this to make it 3 players but not 4? Like, what device were you plugging into this? Maybe they just couldn't handle that many Bombermen on screen and that many explosions. Let's get this. Oh no! I have a horrific disease. Yeah, probably a limitation of the NES. Can I pass my diseases off to other players like a proper Bomberman? Yes. Yes, I can. It's weird that they would have versus mode and battle mode, but then battle mode is just 3 players. But I guess we did not see any skulls in the versus mode. And that's still weird. But it has multiplayer. I mean, that's, you know, like it's a very rudimentary form of it compared to, I think, you know, some of the stuff we would get on the TurboGrafx right around this time. But you know, unfortunate that it doesn't have like a versus CPU battle mode or anything like that. That's unfortunate, for sure. So yeah, I don't know. That's better than Bomberman 1, like by a lot. Just in terms of options, audio quality, you know, like better music, like a solid upgrade. But it doesn't necessarily change the part where the story mode in Bomberman games is not great. The single player action in those games has never been very good. You know, some later games they would add boss fights and some other stuff like that, but it's just still just there's just not a lot to it. But this is certainly better than Bomberman 1. I mean that does go, and then that does matter for something. It's better than Bomberman. It's better than Alien 3. It's better than Wario's Woods. It's better than this Taito Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's better than Mock Rider. But we're kind of this is looking like familiar territory for a game like this. It's better than Galaxy 5000, Racing in the 51st Century. It's better than the Flintstones, The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy. It's better than Airwolf. It's a better game than pinball. It's a better game than Cyber Stadium Series Base Wars. It's not as good as Legacy of the Wizard, scientifically speaking. It's our new number 240. Okay. Yeah. I was like, is this a Roman numeral 2 or what are we doing? What are we working with here? And there you have it. Bomberman 2. Not a bad game. If you watched this and found yourself interested in Bomberman as a concept, if you're not necessarily familiar with it or whatever, multiplayer Bomberman is one of the probably best and purest experiences you can have in a multiplayer game of this era, or really any. I think if you liked a game like I don't know, Towerfall, or kind of like any of those kind of indie multiplayer games that came along over the last 5 or 10 years, you should get into Bomberman instead, because it's better than just about all of those. I would go with Bomberman 93 on the TurboGrafx. I think Saturn Bomberman is fine as well. It also supports more players, which is kind of cool. It'd be nice to if only we could play High 10 Bomberman, the true HD Bomberman game, but sadly we cannot. But yeah, I think if you're playing multiplayer Bomberman, you probably want Saturn Bomberman or Bomberman 93, and that's kind of it. There are others that are okay for sure. But that's sort of, like a lot of the stuff that came later. I mean, they made some relatively recently that were like return to forms in some ways, and like they're certainly not terrible games. But yeah, later games would add like unwelcome features and kind of stuff that you don't really need to make a good pure Bomberman game. Like the stuff on the SNES was, again, fine. But those are kind of the two: Saturn Bomberman and Bomberman 93. Let's move on. The real Blue Dragon wanted to see this. It's a port of an arcade hit, and it's licensed. I thought that this would have been a Tengen cartridge based on its lineage, but Jalico apparently put it out. And it's a game we know as Rampart. Music sounds like a mess. Okay. What kind of options do we have here? Music enable. Oops. Wait. What is a grid type? Okay, I guess it defaults to this, so let's leave it as that. I don't know what it's trying to... Maybe that'll make more sense when we get into the game. The arcade version of this game, you used a trackball to play it, and I think that that's probably still the best way to play the game, but but that's a very... The music in this is no good. All right, we're gonna pick this one. This is our castle. You can tell by the walls we need to drop some cannons down. And now we need to shoot at these ships. Now we need to fix the holes in our castle that they have, and this is where the game kind of becomes Tetris for a little bit here, of sorts, where it's going to randomly give us pieces. Okay, we have surrounded our castle. If you do not surround your castle, the game is over. And so now that we've kind of established the baseline here, we can go out and we can sort of take some additional territory. And I think based on how many castles we take is how many cannons we will get to place, if I remember correctly. But you got to remember that as you extend yourself with more cannons and you know, like if you can't surround your cannons in between rounds, then you will no longer get to use those cannons in the following round. The boats can dock, and then you'll have little dudes fucking with you. Easy enough. And, you know, you can kind of, you know, if you want to just extra fortify your walls, you can always just go in here and plop down more wall, I guess. Audio leaves a lot to be desired. This game also came out on the Super Nintendo, and I think that that's a, you know, it's a better version of the game. But this is, I don't know, this seems like a totally okay port. We have a lot of cannons. And, you know, you're getting fed weird pieces, and you have to put your land back together with the weird pieces that it gives you in the limited time that you have, and, you know, all of that. That's this game. That's Rampart. Multiplayer, I think you kind of more take on like an enemy base in the multiplayer mode as opposed to the ships. And so you're kind of like placing cannons and walls, and then you're blasting each other apart, and then doing it all over again until someone can't surround their base. And that's pretty good. It's a really good multiplayer game. This stuff against the boats, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's kind of, it's a little more whatever. Oh, I thought that would have gotten that one, but okay, I can B button for hyper speed on that, but that's not. So we kind of have to hope we get a fucking small piece here, or else we're totally fucked. All right. That'll work. I like that it has the speech. You know, that matters. But the music is not awesome. So that's a possibility that you do surround a castle, but not your castle with the cannons, and so you are left with fewer cannons for the next round. Like, there are some questionable scenarios you can end up in. Oops. These boats moving faster now. I don't like that at all. Okay. Fast boat. What is that? What do you got? Jet sails? What, come on. Bunch of bull junk, if you ask me. I had to sink that one. I don't know what it was different color. I didn't like it. I didn't like that boat. I don't know what's up with that boat. So I think that these fuckers on land, yeah, see, they'll come down here and basically just like get in the way, and they will prevent you from plopping down pieces. Where's the... Okay, we need... Oh, we're way overextended here. Oh, oh. They're launching a lot of stuff at me, and I don't like it. Oh, I see. I see now. I don't remember that. I don't remember those boats being in the... Man, that's no good. Oh, that's no good at all. Those fires ever go out or no? Boat's too fast. Not cool. Oh, this is no good. This is, we're gonna just... We're over here now. We'll put some stuff down over here in case, you know, maybe some other day we can... Oh, I gotta go around like that. Okay. Castle bonus. Oh, good. I only need one. It only took 6 shots to nail that one boat, so... These fires are still going over here. They don't just like go out after one turn or something. It's not like, oh, now there's no fire here. There's still fire here. I'm going to say that seems like a little unfair. If it doesn't clear out of some of those internal walls, I'm not going to have room for a cannon. Okay. Fast boat, 1 cannon. What more would you... I mean... Oh, fuck, dude. It's like some of the fires maybe kind of go out eventually, but not so much that you'd notice. Oh! Ah! No, that's that. It's pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up what they did to me right there. Continue with more firepower. So that's Rampart. It's This is a cool game. That I feel like, like kind of fell through the cracks. In arcades anyway, and well, I don't know. I don't know that the home versions of the game ever really it never really seemed like a popular game. It felt like I was in a lot of cases the only person who had ever heard of Rampart. Like I said, I think the SNES version is better than this, and the arcade version, you have a trackball to work with, and that makes the firing and moving around your cursor when you're doing your shots and stuff. That's kind of the ideal way to play it. But this kind of mix of, Missile Command and Tetris, or, whatever you want to, you're leading your cannon shots like you would in Missile Command, I guess. So, it's a really cool idea. It's a really cool idea. I think you could do another one of the like this. I think this would work today, like with a good multiplayer mode and whatever. Like, I think conceptually this is still really strong. But at the end of the day, it didn't really find an audience when it was first released, and I think is largely forgotten. But yeah, someone should make a new game like this with 8 players or something. That's a decent version of this game. It's a decent version of this game. I don't think it's as good as Bomberman II. But it's better than Eliminator Boat Duel. It is better than Remote Control. It's no spiritual warfare. It's better than Flight of the Intruder. It's better than Airwolf. Is it better or worse than Fist of the North Star? It's worse. It's our new number 252. Okay. And there you have it. Rampart. A neat game. That, maybe could have had a little bit more going on, I suppose. But some of those simple arcade style ideas, just sometimes they come home and they feel a little weird. But a really neat concept. Like I said, I think that if someone made a new one of those with some modern bells and whistles around online multiplayer and a larger player count and some stuff like that, I think that would be real cool. Next up, Ryan and Anders are the most recent requestees for this one. It's an Ultra game. But really, it's a Microprose game. And also, it's a Rare game. Rare ported the Microprose classic submarine simulator to the NES. Konami's other weird label published it. And here is Silent Service. I'm having a hard time imagining what this game is going to look like on an NES, especially ported by Rare. Let's start with a little torpedo gun practice. Midshipman difficulty. Let's do unlimited visibility. Convoy does not zigzag. No dud torpedoes. Close convoys. Standard destroyers. And we can repair under fire, I guess. I don't know. Oh, boy. I guess up periscope, huh? So, I have to do mouse cursor for everything, like fake mouse cursor for this. I have to move it over to the right side if I want to change my aim. Let's see if that torpedo hits. I mean, it should. That looks like that could be two boats there put together. Anything? Angle on the bow, negative 63 degrees. All right, it's moving that way, so let's fire two. Well, that doesn't seem like where I fired. Is it tracking? Is it leading targets for me? Cannot fire the deck gun at them. I think because we're not close enough. All stop. Silent running. Sonar. Distant explosions. Okay. So we're hitting. All right. We sunk them. They sink pretty fast. Anything else out here? Just fire some torpedoes at land, just for funsies. Well, reload them, man. What do we... Is R reload? No? Okay. Study maps. Check damage. No. View gauges. Is that really all? Okay. And then end scenario. I'm over here now. Okay. Yep. Looking good. Looking good. This could have a line of text or something that when you hover over a gauge, it tells you what it means. That would be kind of cool. Rudder amidships. We'll go ever so slightly underwater. Just 6. Just 6 depth. And then let's use the periscope here. I think we reloaded. I think the torpedo tubes have been reloaded. Nope. Did we fire all of our torpedoes from... Let's turn around. Fire some aft torpedoes. So this is the mode where you just do this. In this mode, it's just like we're going to put some boats around you and you can blow them up, and you can make that harder if you want or not. The other modes involve you going places to find the boats and shoot them, and you know they kind of build some missions and what have you. This is largely similar to the computer versions of the game. Which is, you know, not not great. I don't know, man. This is okay, let's study these maps. Yeah, I guess that's probably zoom in. So if we've got two ships to the northeast of us and I'm facing that way, then do I need to do a little right rudder? And then we'll start moving a little bit here. All right, we'll stop turning. Rudder amidships. Maybe we need to turn a little bit more, get our heading around here. Let's close in. Am I turned the wrong way? Yeah, I am. Heading 217. We're going the wrong way. I thought the tiny end of the sub in some of these crappy looking angles was the rear. I was wrong. But, you know, this game came out in an era when Microprose was putting out a lot of very well-regarded simulators of sorts. This and F-15 Strike Eagle, they would kind of brush up against action gaming a little bit with something like Airborne Ranger, but by and large, Microprose was making this kind of game and doing it really well. Wild Bill Healy. And so I can see why, you know, given the popularity of some of these games on computers, I can see why someone would kind of take a chance on it and be like, hey, can we bring these to a console? But like, I don't know, man. Like on one hand, I think that they're pretty much doing what you would do. But without majorly reworking the game, which is probably what you should do in these situations, is make something that, you know, has a much different interface than this. I think once you're kind of just putting a mouse cursor style thing into your NES game, you've kind of given up. We're moving. We're moving. Okay. We've closed in quite a bit. Let's stop and go look at our periscope here. Our heading is 49, so that's probably... All right, we should probably go this way. Yeah, there they are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think for the deck gun, I think you just need to be really, Okay, yeah, we can fire it from here. I was saying you need to be closer. Probably just faster to use the deck gun here. Yeah, there, we did it. Quite a bit of tonnage sunk here. Got that troop ship. And, you know, you want to learn a little Morse code here. We're not the WGSC like my man Tang. What is that? World's greatest submarine commander, probably. So when you get into war patrols and convoy actions, it's just longer versions of that. It's, you know, day submerged attack, day surface attack. And then, war patrols are where they've, you know, attempted to recreate some World War II era business here. And you can still adjust some difficulty here. Give yourself some dud torpedoes if you want. And then it's like, okay, man, now do you want to do... Oh, well, I don't know why that just immediately quit, but it sure did. Like, arrived at base, you're over, it's over. Nice of them to pause things when you're at this screen, I guess. Dump them. Dump on them. Give them the business. Fire all torpedoes. But see, now our torpedo tubes are empty on this side. So we can go over here and check the gauges. I think that's what it's telling us here, is that these tubes are empty. These tubes are full, but these are our aft tubes, so we would have to, like, basically turn around if we wanted to give them the business. Well, we could probably surface. Oh, are we too far out still somehow? There we go. Got him. I'm torn on this. This is this game. They sure did port this game to the NES. I think that's a terrible idea. But they did it. It's not a bad port. Like the idea of sitting here and doing this with a D-pad is not appealing in the least. Oh, that's right. You can turn up the time scale for some of these longer voyages if you just want to get where you're going. They do let you speed up time. This is something where I think just from an interface perspective, it would be nice if you could just, like, very quickly switch from one phase to another, you know, like without having to go back to that main menu. And yeah, I feel like I should get credit for sinking a ship on that one personally, but yeah, I played a lot of this game, just not here. Not this version of this game. And gosh, you know, like it's yeah, like I said, that's that version of that game. You know, that's relatively fully featured compared to the other versions of the game, which, to be fair, you did usually play those with a joystick. But you would have some keyboard commands that you could use as sort of shortcuts in some scenarios to do things a little bit more smoothly. And so, you know, the interface-wise, it wasn't like the other computer versions of that game were dramatically better, because that game came out in a pre-mouse era. So, you know, like this, in some ways, maybe this is kind of the best 8-bit version of the game. But it's, you know, contextually, it's such a different thing, right? It's really, I guess it's neat that they did this. Like, this is not a terrible version of the game. But I'm trying to envision, you know, you think about, you know, the expectations of the platform and what have you. Like I said, I think on a machine that has 4 buttons on the controller and a D-pad, I think there's a lot of stuff they could have done of, like, you know, hold down a button and push this to automatically swap to periscope view, or do, you know, like shortcuts to get around the sub, which I, you know, as far as I can tell, we're not there. Let's double check, just to make sure. before we fully weigh in on that, but yeah. Nah, there's no real option here. Select brings you back to this screen, and then... But, you know, like, you have 4 things you can do. Or 3. Right? No, 4. You can look at the gauges, you can check your damage, you can look at the maps. Oh, we have the Quarters Master's Log, of course. But they could have had shortcuts for, like, hold down, select, and push up to go to Periscope, down to check damage, left to check gauges, right to check map. Like, you know, there's stuff they could have done that I think would have helped a little bit, but ultimately this is how the game was originally designed. So it's not end of the world type stuff that they didn't do that. But you know, you have a lot of these screens here where the B button doesn't really do anything. And they could have had a more efficient interface for sure. And it would have been nice if some of the graphics were a little better. I mean, you know, for something that is coming out quite a bit later than the original versions of the game, like the view through the periscope is not dramatically improved. And the view on the map and some of that, you know, this could have looked a little bit better, I guess. Ultimately, though, I like this. It's a decent version of a very well-regarded game from its era. Like, this is the sort of thing that I think immediately became, very hard to go back to, and I think these days probably even harder still. But if you can envision it, if you were not playing games back then, if you can envision it. This game originally came out in a time where anyone could play a game like that because it was not that complicated. And, you know, we would go off the deep end on every single simulation around you, you know, within the end of that decade. Like, that stuff would become out of reach for normal people. Silent Service is a great game because I think anyone can pick it up and enjoy it. Or could then. It's hard to go back to because, again, even with the ability to speed up time, it's a slow moving thing, and you're just doing submarine stuff, and then at the end it tells you how much the boats you sank, how much did they weigh, and that's kind of it, man. Not much else going on. A handful of canned scenarios that ultimately come down to very similar things. You know, at harder difficulties, you start taking on damage, and so you have reasons to back off from combat, and either return to port for repairs, or, you know, depending on which difficulty setting you set, you can repair yourself in the field as well. So, you know, like it has a little bit of variety there, but at the end of the day, it's it's kind of a weird one. It's a weird one on the platform, but at the same time, I think that Rare did a good job with it. It is no Rampart. It is no Rolling Thunder. Marble Madness is a better game. But, like, they did the thing. You know, there's only really... Like, it's better than Three Stooges. Three Stooges also did the thing, I suppose. There are a lot of ways that this port could be worse, I guess I would say. And so, you know, like, it's interesting. They took some care in porting it over to maintain the things that made that game that game. For better or worse, you know, like, if you factor time into it, what's the year on this? This is like '89. Like, that's kind of a weird. When you think about the other stuff coming out on this platform in '89, the idea of playing Silent Service is kind of ridiculous. You know, this game originally came out '85-ish, somewhere around there, on computers. And you think about, yeah. If we were factoring time into this, I think that would be like it would be more harshly judged by virtue of some of the other stuff against it. But I guess, without factoring time, we're kind of looking at the entirety of the platform, aren't we? It's a better game than Overlord. Overlord has so much more going on. But also, I think Overlord has too much going on. Like, Overlord kind of is crushed under its own weight a little bit. And as much as the interface in Overlord is cool and it has some nice flair to it, I do think that Silent Service, just by virtue of being more straightforward and approachable, is a superior product. But it's no Adventure Island. It's no Dr. Mario. It's better than Fester's Quest, but it's no Bad Dudes. It's our new number 309. That's honestly way better than I thought it would be. Just by virtue of, again, being something of a Silent Service fan from way back when. I have a lot of strong memories of playing that game with my dad sitting behind me trying to tell me what to do. And played a lot of that game. And this is again a passable version of that game. In some ways, probably the best, just because it doesn't have all the loading time of loading off a floppy disk and everything else. And so there it is. It's our number 309. Next up is a game from Davis, who wanted to see this. This is an unlicensed video game. We had an encoder error, and the stream stopped. I'm going to hit the button again to restart the stream. Okay, before I was so rudely interrupted by whatever that encoder error is, we're going to play an unlicensed game. This is from your friends at Tengen. An arcade classic that I don't know that I would necessarily... I don't know. The analog controls are such a big deal to the original version of this game. But this is Super Sprint. I do remember playing. I know I have played this version of the game before, but the steering on this is not bad. It's very loose. And so, like, the act of, like, you need to know when to let off on the D-pad and so on. Like, it's a decent rendition of what it felt like to play the original game. I guess we probably want more acceleration. Gotta get the wrenches. Not a very difficult game out of the gate here. Super traction. Let's go with higher top speed. I guess like it doesn't have the 4th upgrade, but I think that only went in. They only implemented that in the like what championship sprint or whatever the upgraded version of the arcade one was. And so you could when you crash, a chopper comes out and replaces your vehicle, and so you could buy an upgrade for a faster chopper. I could have blown up there if, you know, if you spin out hard enough into a wall, that'll kill you. It's actually more difficult to steer the car now that I've purchased some of these upgrades. So maybe we'll get some traction next time. Hot shortcuts. And the shortcuts are dangerous again, you know, because you're going fast through them, and so if you hit the wall, you will explode, and so it kind of creates a cool risk versus reward sort of scenario. And that's part of what makes the original arcade version of this so good. But I gotta say, man, you know, this is not bad. At recreating some portion of that feel. Oh. You can use a sound effect or something on that little shortcut up there. Because what you're doing is kind of jumping onto the track. Like you use kind of a, you know, some kind of splat noise when you land it. I don't know. Oh, I believe the arcade version of the game made it a little more clear that you were launching and landing. Oh, But really, it's kind of a game about you just knowing when to let off the gas a little bit around a curve, and when to let off the D-pad when you're steering. And so you do kind of whip around these corners in a like a satisfying way, I'll say. But well, could have been a little more difficult, I suppose. Oh, God. Oh, it doesn't even have a helicopter. You just respawn. That fucker stole my wrench. All right, so we've looped it, and now we're seeing the same tracks again, but now with a few cones on the track that just slow you down ever so slightly. And the AI cars are going a little bit faster, but not so much that you'd notice. Again, with the wrench thievery. It feels like they're cheating, because it feels like they are launching off the line faster than I can. Like when I've tried it both ways of like holding down the button at the start and then also trying to time when I push the gas, and in both cases it doesn't feel like I can get going the way I want to. Oh! Hooray. Yeah, I don't know, man. Not a terrible representation of the arcade game, but could use a little more difficulty, you know? Oh, ah. Kind of just needs more. That's the thing I'd say about it is that this feels like a good beta for a game that they need to tune quite a bit. In terms of like difficulty and whatever else. Like it's just missing that part of it. But they got the feel of it down. Like I'll say like it feels really good. The steering and stuff like feels really nice. You feel very connected to the car. Making these making these turns, cornering and stuff like that's such a crucial part of the original game. That is so hard to duplicate without a steering wheel. And they do a pretty okay job of that. Oh, missed that wrench. Almost want to go back and get it, but... something, like a screen that says you won the something after you beat every racetrack or something, because here we are, our third loop around. And now they're like, what if there were pylons that would come up and make your car blow up for the third loop? And you're like, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Okay. You wrench thieving scum! Hooray. I wonder how many levels that has. If you're lined up, you can hit the oil slicks and stuff like with relative impunity, because all it really does is spin you out, but you keep going in the same direction that you were going. So if you've already lined up where you're going to go, then it does not cause a huge problem. I feel like I probably should have blown up there. Okay. Is level 6 the max level? Is that why they... Oh, no. Whatever are we going to do? From a difficulty standpoint, this feels more like an endurance challenge than anything else. It's like, how long you gonna do this before you're done? How will I know when I am satisfied? Yeah, level 6 is the top, so yeah, might as well get maximum traction. Uh-oh. 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 I got some catching up to do. Let's see. Maybe this will be where it all falls apart. That's a really tricky corner they put in right there with the pylons and the oil. Yeah, this might be it. This might be it. We might be free. Yeah, they're on their last lap, and I have got it. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Whoa. He looks ahead of me there. Just game over. Fuck you. By the way. Yeah, I mean, 2 players. That, that at least gives you something to So I wonder what happens in this scenario, because I think, you know, you're supposed to beat all the AI to continue playing. So just as long as a human comes in first place, you continue playing, I guess. Which... And then the other player car, the collisions are... Oh, no, they're about the same. Okay. Okay. Well, that's Super Sprint. I don't know. That's not a very good game, but that's disappointing. It feels nice. Like, I think, again, you know, I really like the arcade version of Super Sprint quite a lot. In that game, you had a steering wheel, and if you haven't played it, it's a... You really have to turn that wheel to make those turns. So really the game is about you spinning the wheel and letting go, and then catching the wheel when it is time to straighten out. And so it's this weird, you know, like this and Super Off-Road, the Iron Man Stewart licensed video game. Same type deal. And it felt perfect. Like it just... Unless the steering wheels were not lubed up enough, and they would go, you know, and that was a real bummer. Badlands, yeah, Badlands is decent too. Badlands is cool. So yeah, this is a really good recreation of the feel of that game. In that the cornering, the turning, it feels a little bit slippery. Now, obviously, all you're really doing is letting off of the D-pad and then straightening out if you have to, and whatever. Like it's not difficult to make some of these turns, but the feel is there, and it actually feels a lot better than I think there are other ports of this game, some of which are more like arcade accurate in some ways, but like that they feel way worse. It's a tricky game to emulate. For that reason, you know, just because of the role the steering wheel played in your input. And that aspect of this game is really well done and better than I remember it. However, the rest of the game feels like kind of a weird joke. Like the difficulty just kind of isn't there. It's insanely repetitive. It's nice that they do the thing of like, okay, we're going to add a little bit more stuff to the track, and we're, you know, now you've got to deal with these pylons, which I want to say the arcade version basically did the same thing, with cones and pylons and what have you. It's been a long time, but I remember that being pretty similar. But yeah, it's not a difficult game. You know, we just saw every track in the game 3 times, like 3 times over. And I was getting close to just kind of turning it off. I mean, we eventually did lose, which is nice that can happen. But I you know, the game had kind of worn out its welcome a little bit there, even before I did lose. So like that aspect of it is lacking for sure. That said, I think that, you know, a lot of AI in racing games of this era is bad. It's just bad in one of two ways, right? It's either brain dead easy like this, or it's way too hard. you know, and they corner perfectly, they drive faster than you do. Like the rubber banding becomes more evident in some other games of the era. And that's just bad in a different way. I think you'd have a better time playing this with another person, you know. But ultimately, you're still dealing with these two AI cars that are just like barely making their way around the track, and yuck. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's tough. There are aspects of this game that I think are really done well and better than I would have expected. But you know, ultimately, it's just so easy. You know, we have Super Off-Road here. You know, Super Off-Road has nitrous and, you know, like a little bit more track variety. But it kind of falls on the other side of the AI end of it. I mean, let's think about it from above here. Like, it's no Excite Bike. You know, Xevious is a better game. You know, it's no Jaws. Solstice, The Quest for the Staff of Deimos is a better game, but like kind of, yeah, the lack of difficulty really just kind of makes it pointless, you know, like that does really hurt it. Is it better or worse than Dino Wars Destruction of Spondylus? I think Super Sprint feels a lot better than Dino Wars does, but you know, Dino Wars just has a little bit more going on. And I guess from a scientific perspective, I do have to give it to Micro Machines in this case. I hate Micro Machines more than I hate Micro Machines so much, and that style of racing game, that shitty dog shit top down, you got dragged off the back of the screen and then it catches you up, and the like here's a bunch of tracks that are just the turns and everything just feel super fucking random, and they're, since it's a top down game, it's just throwing them at you over and over again. I fucking hate those games. And that style of game, they would make them for years and years afterwards because these games became so popular. You'd have something like Circuit Breakers on the PlayStation 1, which is just fucking trash. But it's still, you know, there's a little bit more going on in Micro Machines scientifically than, you know, a Super Sprint. So as much as it disgusts me to say it, Micro Machines is, scientifically speaking, a better game. Gross. Just a filth. Just a fuck Micro Machines. Mylon's Secret Castle is a better game than Super Sprint and its pylons. Super Sprint is better than Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf, but it's not as good as Wrath of the Black Manta. It's our new number 230. If that game was a little bit more, just had a little bit more difficulty, I think it would be a much better game if it just felt better to compete. But here we are, number 230. Okay. Graz wanted to see this next one. This was left over from last week. There's no way that this is a licensed game. Yeah. I don't know what this is. It's the Pradicus conflict. On the box art, there's an apostrophe. Well, I guess there's still an apostrophe here between the P and the R. But the box just says Pradicus conflict. This screen says the Pradicus conflict. It's from your friends at Color Dreams. John and Nancy did some additional graphics on it. All rights reserved! Exclamation point. Oh. Let's land at the friendly station, I guess. Okay, we can buy fuel, armor, weapon, and special. Like a cloaking device, or mines, or missiles. Okay. Ship. Drives. Enemy activity in this sector is increasing. Go out and destroy enemy ships. Use money to improve your ship. When your ship is equipped with a shield 2 and a drive 2, report back to base for your next assignment. Okay, so we just picked the planets. Okay, okay, we do have a cannon. I was like, wait, it says no weapon, but okay, looks like we. Oh, okay, when we get to a place, if we scan it, that's how we go ahead and land on it again. I see. All right, I understand. Let's go to the map and let's go to this big planet over here. Okay, warp gets us out of the sector. I see. Oh, God. Life, no. Fuel, yes. No intelligent life is present. Refuel. This is pretty grim. This is, Whoa, why? Okay, why is the movement so bad all of a sudden? Okay, nothing to be gained here, I suppose. Let's go back and see if we can afford some upgrades. I guess, I mean, I've been killing a bunch of stuff. Is that giving me money? Nope, got to be on top of it. Oh, wow, this movement is so bad. What? Okay, what the fuck is happening? Like, changing directions is just broken. Yeah, I got to be on top of it, huh? We only have 11,000. We need 28.7 for... Jeez. We could get a light laser. Oh, no, we can't. We get an atomic cannon. Oh, we didn't set a destination here. Let's go back to this planet because I guess it's free fuel. S is shield, right? We got our shields are not doing great. Shield 2 and drive 2 if I want to. I mean, let's try going to one of these other planets and see if I can replenish any other resources there. Just... Oh god, dude. It's frustrating because there's pieces of a video game here, you know? A friendly base. $45,000 credits for a level 2 fucking drive. This is going to take forever. Is there a reason to travel? Or should I just, like, sit here and shoot shit? Are we still burning fuel even though we're just sitting still? $25. That's what we needed for the level 2 shields, right? We're right about there. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay. Ship. Shield. 28. 28,750. Okay. Level 2 drive. It's 45K. This is gaming right here. This looks like a game, like... So there was a thing for the Commodore 64 called the Shoot 'em Up Construction Kit. Or SIUK. And you could draw your own ships and stuff. But no matter what you drew, they all just kind of looked like shit. these ships are bigger than those, but this has the feel of a game that this is a game made inside of this game, if that makes any sense. Like the ship designs and just like a lot of the stuff in it, just like, look at this fucking garbage. You go like, oh, well, I don't know, it's user-generated content. But it is not. Okay, just about 30,000. Oh. And like there's underneath this is like you know, you could. I played Star Raiders. You know, games from the late 70s, man. It's pretty good. I mean, it's a first-person perspective when you're in the ship and shooting and all of that, and you know, it's cool for what it is, and it's a great game, especially for its era. And this has, you know, similar in terms of just like, oh, you're gonna fly around and do stuff and shoot stuff and maybe dock at a space station or, you know, or what have you. But this part of the game is so fucking grim, dude. Okay. You've completed your present mission. Return to base for your next assignment. Okay. We'll go to the base then. That's what I do to tailgaters, baby. Boom. You are now ready to attack enemy bases. Destroy the space station at the coordinates shown below. Sector 5-3. So we want to go here, but we don't have enough fuel. Ah, no, come back. No. I'm holding down A to buy gas. Five three, system 12-5, destination 82. All right, I don't know. How am I supposed to? Okay, 5-3 is here. Not enough fuel. I can't get no more fuel than this. Is there a different fuel? Do I need a level 2 power plant? Because that's another 45 fucking grand. I'm now invested in this disaster. I'll say this. This could be a whole lot worse. The crimes of this game are not like mechanical the way most licensed games are. Like you're spinning around and you're shooting. Like it works. It just sucks. It just sucks. I also like that seemingly any other ship in space is an enemy ship. We're not hailing anyone to trade. We're not, this is like, if you fucking see somebody out there, smoke them. Get all practical on them. Chaos out here. All right. No. Fuel use 15, but I can't go literally to anywhere else other than the one I'm already in, and I need to go here. Do I need a level 3 drive / engine to go further? Like, there's no indication. Just destroy the space station at the coordinates shown below. That's my mission. Doesn't say anything about, like, it had me get a level 2 drive and shield before it would give me this mission. So I would think if I were making a video game, I would be like, oh, now you're equipped to go do this, and now you can go do it. But instead, it's just saying, I don't have enough fuel. Let's top off the tank, I guess, but I don't. Okay, I can go. So I can go one system away now. So let's go here. And then we got to pick a system. This one's got 17 planets. That sounds cool. Look at all this action. Sensors indicate enemy activity. What is this fucking raid on Bungling Bay ass bullshit? Look at this fucking thing. Control tower destroyed. Searching ruins. Give me the gas. You find EMP wave. Well, we want to go here. Oh, wait. We need to know what's the system. We need to go read the thing again. System 12.5. No. System 12.5. That's where we're going. Let's head in the direction of their space station. We're supposed to go at 8273. Oh, that is the... All right, that's what we're blowing up. Hopefully we have enough fucking gas to get there. As we travel further away from our home sector, we're finding more ships that shoot. I want to go to bed. Oh, wait, we can continue. Enemy station. So we're just like sitting outside the enemy station then? Shield is up. Cannot land. Wait, what? Wait. Oh, did I just... It was like... Oh, God. I see. So now we got to do all this shit. Oh, man. I guess the, you know, where, you know, it's the continues are letting us pick up right where we left off. So it's like I am technically making progress here. You find mines. Return to base. So now, I got to go all the fucking way back to that other sector. So we got to go here. And then find a way to get gas. All right. Hopefully one of these planets is a gas planet. Maybe they're color-coded. Because otherwise we're stranded here. It's frustrating. There's something to this game, you know? In a lot of ways, it's scratching a very... you know, it's like remember Armada for the Dreamcast and how that game had a ton of potential but kind of didn't really get it done. This is like a prototype of that. Okay, System 1516 is where we're going. There it is. It's just a lot of stuff in this game that kind of feels like it maybe didn't need to be there. You know what I mean? Like, you could streamline a lot of the space travel and all of that down. At the same time, it's kind of neat that it's there. There's a lot of places you could theoretically travel if you wanted to. Your valiant deeds have earned you our thanks, but the enemy threat is still growing. Our sources show a major concentration of the enemy fleet at the location below. 3-5-14-3. Destroy all enemy bases in this system before the enemy can mobilize to attack us. Good luck. Well, we bought a light laser. Weapons don't get any better than that. Let's equip the EMP wave in our secondary slot. Look at this laser. Oh, and that EMP wave just fucks everybody up, huh? Sure. Like, that's kind of... man, it's kind of cool. But also... every bit of it could be smoother. It's almost a good game. 3-5-14-3. So we can go to 3-4. This one's got 18 planets. Let's just go there. The laser doesn't feel, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't feel that much more, it doesn't feel more powerful than the weapon I had before. This feels like they wanted to make a thing. That they wanted to make this type of space game and didn't bother to put enough game into it, I guess. Oh, well, I need to figure out where am I going? 3-5, 14-3. 3-5, 14-3. Like, this could be way worse. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of a sucker for like this type of like conceptually open space game, but you got to have something to do, something more to do than this. And the handling on the ship is terrible. Like, if your whole game is going to be this style of space combat, like the ship needs to handle better. There just needs to be something more to it than this. If this game had a different pedigree, you would think like, oh, well, clearly when I get to like later systems, there will be more weapons and things to get. But like, you look at it and go like, maybe not. Maybe it, in fact, does not have anything else going on. Oh, no. Anyway. It's the Pradicus conflict. Hey, John, you think you and Nancy could come in and draw some spaceships for us? Yeah, Mike, we'll come in. Yeah, sure. Is Jim gonna be there? No, not after the thing he did. No, I won't. I'll tell him to not come into the office that day. Okay, good. All right, yeah, we'll come in. There is something likable about it. Like that's the hardest part about this is that there is just a glimmer of depth here that you see and go like, man. Just think about it. Like on paper, this sounds awesome, right? You fly in space, you dock at space stations to buy upgrades. There are enemy space stations that you must attack in multiple phases. And then there are enemy planets that you go down to the surface and shoot their control towers. to take, to wipe out the enemy, and you don't take over the planet or anything cool like that, but you find things in the rubble, you find loot, you do shooting, you do looting. There's stuff here. It's kind of the most frustrating part about it, is because the part where you are in control of a spaceship turning and firing is really rudimentary. And the control of the ship, of like you changing direction, making like refined movements with your ship so you can get closer to a planet or closer to a station, like all of that stuff feels terrible. All of that stuff feels like broken in a way that you're just like, oh, what the heck? And I think, there's interface stuff that I think they could have done better, but like, hey. And so I think with that fundamental flaw, it drags the game down quite a bit. Despite it having like some actual ambition to it. I don't think the ambition is realized, because I think for as much depth as has been implied, that depth isn't real. It's just, they just kind of gave you 3 different things to do, really, 3 or 4. And then on top of that, the actual gameplay, the part where you are controlling a spaceship is awful. Asteroids felt better, and that game came out years prior to this. Close to a decade, let's say. It's a case where restraint would have helped. Like this is a situation where I think if you scaled everything down a little bit and had smaller ships that felt more nimble and moved around a little bit better, you would probably have a better looking and feeling thing. But by them wanting these big, goofy looking spaceships, it all just looks very amateurish. All of those sprites, all of those enemy ships just look like real crap. There's a real less is more stuff to I think spaceship design in a game like this, or from an era like this, I guess you could say, that I think would have benefited them here. But that's the Praticus conflict. That is the Praticus conflict. I don't hate it, but it's no G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Battletoads is a better game. Werewolf the Last Warrior, you'd be better off with that. Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight, of course. That's a significantly better product. Home Alone is more interesting. Stanley, The Search for Dr. Livingston, similar in its weird map, I guess, in some sick way. I would personally, if this were just me talking, I would rather play the Praticus conflict than the Jungle Book, but no. Raid on Bungling Bay is an interesting comparison, because I think that the stuff you're doing when you're closer to the planet is not entirely dissimilar to the entirety of Raid on Bungling Bay. But I think Raid on Bungling Bay just does more interesting movement. There's a little more momentum with your craft there, with the helicopter, and some of the things you do there, I think, just end up feeling better. And the act of, kind of bombing the facilities and what have you is a little bit more involved than just flying around and shooting and all of that sort of stuff. So Raid on Bungling Bay is a somewhat better game, despite it, not having nearly as much going on, I guess I would say. from a variety perspective. You'd be better off with a copy of Dig Dug 2. We're getting there, though. It's better than Target Renegade. But it's no Raid on Bungling Bay. It's no Ikari 3 The Rescue. You know what? It's not as good as the NES version of Rampage, which is not a great version of the game, but that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about our new number 407. The Paradicus. What a dumb name. It's a great dumb name. But it's a dumb name. And there you have it. The Paradicus conflict. Huh. All right. I think that's going to do it for us here. I don't know that we can fit one more in with the time we have remaining. So it's close, though. Image Fight is not the deepest game in the world, but we're not going to push it. So Image Fight we'll take a look at next time. That's the last one remaining on the list here. So head on over, join the advisory panel at patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann. And you can suggest more games for next week. Episode 90 next week. Wild. Big week for episode numbers that have zeros in them. For both the podcast and for this. But yes, we'll be back next week to get practical on another batch of games. So come on through then, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.